Hi there, and welcome back to Hunt Hill at Home. I'm so glad that you decided to join me again this week, and I am hoping that you all had an awesome weekend. It was beautiful out here in Serona, Wisconsin. Lots of sunlight, lots of wonderful temperatures, so it was a good time for you to go out exploring and everything. Today and for the rest of this week, we're going to be exploring throughout Hunt Hill to see the different habitats that are here. Now, a habitat is anything that has everything that a living being needs to survive. So, for a plant, it might have the right soil, the right amount of sunlight, the right amount of water that comes to it. For an animal, it's even more complicated. It might have the right amount of food, the right amount of space, the right amount of water. All of those things come into play when you're thinking about a habitat. So we're going to be exploring a forest habitat today, which brings me to my joke of the day. So, how far is the farthest anyone has ever gone into the forest? Think about it. And the answer to how far has anyone ever gone into the forest is halfway. After halfway, you start going out again. All right, so we're going to be exploring the forest today, checking things out, seeing what kinds of things we can find that live in here. Now already you can hear some things, or I can. I don't know what you can hear on your end, but I hear way up there, there's a woodpecker making a lot of noise, and I heard a squirrel chattering over there, and way down there I can hear some frogs in the lake. So there's lots of things already nearby. But we're going to focus on just a few little things. And I learned a new trick with my camera, so hopefully I'll be able to show you some stuff up close. So I'm going to pick up my camera, and we're going to explore a little bit. Now, I'm going to switch this around so you can see what I see. Oh, good, it worked. All right, so looking around here, we see a lot of leaves and dead things on the ground already, but I also see some signs of life. One major thing that I've seen recently is this little flower right here. If you look at it, it's got 6 petals, and it's kind of a whitish, maybe a little bit of a purplish hue. And then if you look at the stems, they're super hairy. These flowers are called hepatica, and hepatica is named after its leaf. Let me find a good leaf for you to look at. Here's a leaf right here. This is a hepatica leaf, and it has 3 lobes on it. And the lobes remind you of the lobes on the liver, which is where it gets its name. Hep stands for liver. Now these things can come in lots of different colors. These ones are whitish, but you can also see ones in pink and lavender and purple. There's a whole bunch all around here that are popping out of the ground. Now these are called ephemeral flowers, and ephemeral means short-lived or not long-lasting. So these things will only be around for a few days to a week, and they can get easily damaged by things stepping on them or getting hit by rain too hard. So you only have a little bit of time to look at them. But they're really beautiful and wonderful flowers. Now let's check out some other parts of the forest here. Oh, this is how I record you all. That's where I stand up my phone when I'm not holding it. So, we're at the corner of Bear Trail and Andrews Trail right here. And if you look off into the distance at this corner, you're going to see a lot of things that are dead and down. Lots of trees and snags and branches and debris just lying and piled up there. Now, a lot of people ask us, why don't you clean this up a little bit, use it for firewood, or just kind of clear it off. Well, the reason is this is an awesome habitat for lots of animals, and we want to keep it that way. So we will remove anything that's across the trail. So if you take a look over here, you'll see we did cut off the edge of this so that it's not in the way of where I'm going to walk. But everything else is left down. There are a whole bunch of trees that fell down here. Now, these are great habitats for lots of different animals because they provide a really great source of shelter. Things like chipmunks and squirrels can sit in the debris and be safe from predators that can't fit in those little spots. Birds can build their nests in the dead trees. Insects can be there and will feed those birds as well. So we're going to go through this little tunnel here, and we're going to explore inside. Now, this is someone else's place. This is where other animals live. So it's like we're going into their home. Because of this, I'm going to be very careful to not take anything or hurt anything because I want to show respect to the things that live here. So, if you see a log or something on the ground, you can take a look at it and see what sorts of things live on and underneath it. You can gently roll it over. And it's like a whole nother world under here. There's lots of little, I'm not sure if you can see all the things that scattered out of there, but there were little bugs and worms and centipedes and millipedes, all sorts of things. Let's take a look at another one and see what we find in there. Aha, here we go. Right here we have a salamander. This salamander has a red line down its back that looks kind of like a worm almost. People often miss them because they look like a worm. Here's a worm for comparison. Oh, and there's a little millipede that fell down. Now this guy is the redback salamander, and they're really interesting because, oh, I scared them a little bit, because they can breathe through their skin sometimes, and they also absorb a lot of things through their skin. So if you ever find a salamander, you should be careful when handling it. You should only handle it if you have clean hands. Dirt is okay. What is not okay is things like bug spray or hand lotions or Purell. Those sorts of things could really hurt the salamander if you touch it. Or you can also pick it up with the things around it. Things like leaves or some of this bark is nice because it's already damp and will keep the salamander from drying out. You don't want the salamander to dry out because they need to stay damp. I'll give you one last look at our salamander. Now when I return this log, I don't want to disturb the salamander too much, but I'm also a little worried that I might squish him. So I'm going to pick him up a little bit and just move him to the side, and then he can go back underneath once I've rolled it back. So there he is waiting, and I'll roll this back. And now he's got his habitat all set, and I can let him back in there, and he crawled right back in. So you can go out and explore the habitats around you. I'll turn this camera back to my face. So feel free to go out and explore the habitats near you. See what sorts of cool things you find. If you find anything neat, feel free to send it to us. Tell us about what sorts of cool things you find. Thanks for watching today, and tomorrow we're going to explore the bog, unless I get rained out. It is going to rain tomorrow, but I'm hoping I still can make it into the bog and it won't be too rainy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.